So good evening. We'll begin our next session for data science. I'll share my screen first. Hope the screen is visible. So the topics for today are classification, regression, supervised learning, clustering, and we will not cover recommender system today. Let's begin. So what is basically machine learning? What what happens in machine learning? In machine learning is actually a branch of AI, artificial intelligence, which performs the duties of humans. So here we feed some images or data to the computer, like this is an image of a cat, this is a chair, this is a bird. We can make these differences, but for a computer to make out the differences, it is very difficult. So we feed all the data to the computer with labels. That is, we tell the computer that this is a chair, this is a bird, and allows computer to come up with its own logic to decide whether this is a chair or not. Like what we provide an image to the computer, it can predict whether it's an image of a chair or something else. So machine learning or ML is arguably the part of statistics. So you need to know statistics for determining these things. So in machine learning, what we do, we divide our data set into training set and test set. So what is it? Basically, these are nothing but observations. Like we have 1,000 observations, we feed 1,000 images to a computer and we divide it into training and test set. So it is sometimes or majorly it is 80-20 split, or we can give some 70-30 split as well. 70% of the data in training set and 30% of the data in test set, or 80% or 20%. So training set is something that we make available to the computer with labels. So this is not a chair, this is a chair. We write these labels and provide these images to the computer. And then we allow the computer to make some logic and predict some labels for these test observations. Like this is a chair, this is not a chair. It should come up with these kinds of labels. So this is supervised learning. So now what we do in case of images, computer doesn't understand images, but it understands numbers. So we first need to convert these images into numbers. So we convert each pixel of the image into RGB values, red, green, blue values. So this could be a matrix. So an entire image could be represented in a form of numbers or features. Like we had in our previous manhole example, to discover whether it's a manhole event or not. So this could be represented in term of numbers, where the first number represent number of events happened last year in a manhole, number of serious events. This could be a second feature, or number of electrical cables in a manhole. So this could be a training data from maybe 2014, we can say. And then we can have a test data from 2015. So we can divide the data set into training and test data. So now these are the labels associated with the X values. So Y, this could be a Y value, this could be a column. are dependent feature, and these x values are independent features. So our y depends on x. These could be referred to as predictors or covariates or explanatory variables, while the y labels are the output variables. So now we have a function and we need to classify the label y for the combination of x, where x denotes a combination of dependent features, where y is a dependent feature and x are independent features. So we simply plot x and y values and we get something like this. So these are the events that happened in 2015. This could be these negative values could no event, or plus values could be the events that happened. So we have to plot this classification boundary, basically decision boundary, which can easily differentiate between plus and minus values, that is the events that happened and events that didn't happen. So how our classifier predicted basically the values that we have plotted. So in similar case, in case of images, we have to make this decision boundary where these could be images that are classified as chairs and these could be no chair or it is not a chair. So machine learning algorithm will create the function for you. It is very complicated for humans to develop such functions. For example, a relation between values like 2, 4, 3, 9, 4, 16 could be simply a squared relation. We can easily reduce that. But for higher problems or for image classification, etc., developing that logic is very, very difficult and complicated for humans. So we provide the data to the computer and let it come up with its own logic. So basically, yes or no questions are classification problems. These are very, very basic problems. Like we had the manhole event problem or not, or chair, is it a chair or not? The yes or no question, these are classification problems. Then there are other problems like handwriting recognition or speech recognition biometrics. In automatic handwritten recognition problems, like we write some checks and computer recognizes the images and classifies the numbers as between 0 to 9, or in speech recognition algorithms where you speak to your computers or Google and it recognizes your speech and predicts the words. Like in biometrics, is it your biometrics or no? Document classification, while you make a search, is the relevant documents coming up or not? Spam detection, the mails in your mailbox are automatically classified as a spam or no spam. So these are some of the classic problems for classification. There could be medical outcomes predicting the strokes or side effects of a medicine. So these kinds of problems we can solve through data science. So now we come up with regression. So when we want real values, like so prices for a house, or how many customers will arrive at your website, how many TVs will we sell next year. So when we want concrete values, we use regression, predicting someone's income. For TVs, it could be 1,000, 10,000, like 20,000. So those kinds of values, not a yes no problem, but we want some real values. Then we use regression. For example, this could be a simple data set having different features, independent X features, and the corresponding income for every individual, 84, 32, minus 10. So Y is a dependent variable on independent X features. So here we use regression if we want to predict someone's income based on the historical data available with us or the features that we have. Now we can have a single feature and single label, and we can plot a graph. For example, we have plotted a graph between the income and the number of business week clicks. So this could be a function. So, but we can see that this is not a real-time scenario in which the graph totally touches the points that we have plotted. So for prediction, these kinds of problems arise. This could be a classic case for overfitting. Our function is too much fitted into the points. So this could be a simple function that represents the points or a regression line. But this represents another problem. This is a different function that we have used here. This could be underfitting problem. This doesn't touch any of the points. But this could be some of the ideal scenarios that we want. Some of the points, most of the points our function is touching, but many of them are very close to the regression line that we have plotted. So for predicting future points, this line could be a very nice predictor. This could be a function for that. We can have more than few features like number of visits, number of clicks, number of distinct people, and we can have weighted numbers for them, number of visits to airline. So this could be an ideal function that we want. Now we'll discuss about supervised learning. In supervised learning, basically we provide labels. Classification and regression are supervised learning problems. We provide labels in the data itself, like yes or no, 1 or 0, -1 or 1 for the y values, and then we can use to predict. So in statistical learning theory, the best models are simple models that fit the data well. We should choose the one with fewest assumptions. Here is a graph. So this part of the graph represent underfitting. These one are the good models and this one is the overfitting. In the underfitting scenario, our data doesn't fit the training data, and the test error is also very high. In good models, there is some overlap between test errors and training errors. But in overfitting scenarios, the training error is very low. That is, our model has already seen the entire data, and our function or regression line that we saw previously are completely touching every point, and there is no error in the training data. But when we use our test data, the error crops up. There is a huge test error. So we have to make some adjustment and we have to reduce this error, test error. So best model is the one which has a balance between accuracy and simplicity. We choose a function which minimizes the training error as well as the complexity. So there's a famous curse of dimensionality that we talk. If we use lot of features, if we introduce lot of dimensions, the model will overfit. It will perform very well on the training set, but on test set, there will be huge testing error. So here's something we'll talk about in unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning is that in supervised learning, we are providing the computer with these labels that this is a chair, this is not a chair, this is a chair, chair, not chair. And then we provide some image that we want to classify as chair or no chair, like here. Here, the computer forms clusters. So there may be some random errors, but it forms some clusters like this is a cluster of chairs. This is a cluster of chairs, another type of chair, but this is not a chair. So these kinds of problems could be used while forming clusters about customers, maybe who are our good customers, who are our bad customers, well performing customers. So we just provide data to the computer and it forms different types of clusters. So unsupervised means that training data has no ground truth labels to learn from. They are much harder to evaluate. Clustering is a classic unsupervised problem. So in next lectures, we'll discuss something about formulation and solving machine learning problems and how to evaluate machine learning algorithms. Thank you.